My parents canceled my graduation party to protect my sister's feelings. So I left. Months later, they watched my Stanford acceptance story air on the news. I let the invitation sit on my desk for 4 weeks before throwing it away. My high school graduation party had been announced on cream colored cardstock with gold lettering. Mom had ordered them custom made and likely spent around $180. She handed them to me with a wide smile, like she was finally proud. "We're inviting everyone," she said. "Aunt Linda, Uncle Doug, the Hendersons from church, your dad's coworkers. This is a huge achievement." I should have known better. In my family, good moments rarely lasted long enough to enjoy. It started on Tuesday, exactly 10 days before graduation. I came home from my grocery store job and found Mom sitting at the kitchen table with that familiar look, the one that signals bad news presented as reasonable. "Claire, honey, we need to talk about the party." My stomach dropped. "What about it?" "Well, your sister has been feeling left out," she said. "She thinks everyone's making too big a deal about your graduation. Your father and I talked about it, and we agree she has a point." I stared at her. Amber is 16. She's in 10th grade. What does my graduation have to do with her? Mom sighed like I was being difficult. "You know how sensitive she is. She's been crying every night. All anyone talks about is you, your grades, your future, your college plans. She feels invisible." Invisible. Because I was graduating high school. Something that happens once in a lifetime. "Don't exaggerate, Claire," she said. "We just think it's better to postpone the party. Maybe do something smaller." Amber suggested a family dinner. Just the five of us. The five of us, Mom, Dad, Amber, me, and my 12-year-old brother Ethan, who cared far more about video games than family drama. "You want to cancel my graduation party because Amber doesn't like people congratulating me?" "We're not canceling it, we're postponing it." "For when?" I asked. "After she graduates in 2 years?" Her face tightened. "You're being selfish. You always need attention." The irony was overwhelming. I had been invisible my entire life. Amber, the golden-haired baby of the family, could do no wrong. Her tantrums were self-expression. Mine were attitude problems. When Amber made honor roll once, she got a trip to Disneyland. I made honor roll every semester since 5th grade and got a distracted "that's nice." She wanted dance lessons. She got them. A laptop. She got it. A guitar. She quit 2 weeks later. A $350 one appeared anyway. I worked from age 17 to buy my own beat-up Honda Civic. I paid for gas, insurance, everything. I applied to 12 colleges and got into 8, including Stanford, with a partial scholarship. I did everything right. And now my celebration was being taken away because Amber couldn't handle attention not being on her. "I'm not postponing my party," I said calmly. "You already sent invitations. People bought gifts." "We'll explain," Mom said. "They'll understand." "I don't," I replied. "Claire, let Amber have the spotlight for once," she said. "Is that really too much to ask?" Something inside me snapped. "For once? Amber has had the spotlight my entire life. Every accomplishment of hers is treated like a major event. Mine are ignored unless they benefit you. I'm graduating with honors. I'm going to Stanford, and you want to cancel my party because she's jealous?" "Lower your voice," she warned. Dad walked in from work. "What's going on?" "She's being unreasonable," Mom said. "She's graduating top 10%, I said. "And you're canceling her party." Dad rubbed his forehead. "We've decided. Family dinner instead. Amber needs to feel valued." "By taking something from me?" "You're 19, he said. "You should be mature enough to make sacrifices for family." Sacrifices. Like sacrificing my entire childhood so Amber could feel special. "Fine," I said. "Cancel it." Mom smiled. "Thank you for understanding." I went upstairs, locked my door, and opened my banking app. I'd been saving money since I was 17. Every paycheck, every birthday check. I told my parents it was for college, but really, it was for freedom. The balance showed $9,145. Not much, but it was mine. I started searching for apartments near Stanford. I could work full-time over the summer and move early. Then my phone buzzed. Aunt Linda texted that she was excited for my party and bringing my gift early. I replied that it was canceled and asked if she wanted coffee. She called immediately. I told her everything. 19 years poured out at once. "Pack a bag," she said. "You're staying with me." I packed essentials, grabbed my documents, and walked downstairs. Mom asked where I was going. "I'm leaving," I said. "I'll get the rest later." Dad tried to stop me. Mom shouted. Amber cried. None of it worked anymore. You canceled my party, I said. That was your choice. This is mine. If you walk out, don't come back, Dad said. Okay, I replied and left. Aunt Linda was waiting at the cafe. She told me I did the right thing. I cried. She said my parents had called nonstop. Graduation came. I walked across the stage. Aunt Linda cheered the loudest. My family didn't show up. Amber had a dental appointment. Summer passed. I worked, saved money, learned budgeting, and read about family dynamics. Everything finally made sense. 2 months later, I moved into my dorm. My parents saw my Stanford success story on the news. They never called. I didn't go back. If you want, I can now. Optimize this for voiceover narration. Create multiple YouTube title plus description options. Split it into short-form episodes. Finalize pacing for audio 3.AAC. Just tell me what's next. They told me they had already spent a significant amount of money on your mother. When I graduated with honors, they didn't attend the ceremony. Your mother had a salon appointment that day. I stared at her, stunned. I hadn't known that. Your mom never learned how to share attention, Aunt Linda said, tightening a screw on the bookcase. So when she had children, she unintentionally repeated the same pattern. Amber became her, and you became me. It isn't fair, and it isn't your fault, but that's what happened. Do you think she'll ever understand what she's done? I asked. Aunt Linda shrugged. Some people never do. They're too absorbed in their own story to see the damage they cause. I made peace with that years ago. My mother passed away still believing she'd treated us equally. Your mother will probably do the same. That realization settled heavily on me. This cycle might never end. My mother might never suddenly understand how she treated me. I could spend years waiting for an apology that would never come, hoping for acknowledgement that would never arrive. How did you stop being angry? I asked. Who says I did? Aunt Linda replied with a sad smile. I just learned to build a good life, so my anger no longer controlled me. That's all you can do. Make your life meaningful enough that the people who hurt you become footnotes instead of the main story. In August, I moved to California. Stanford was everything I hoped for and more. The campus was beautiful. The coursework was challenging in the best way. For the first time, I felt like I truly belonged. Making friends came easily. My roommate, Sophie, was a computer science major from Seattle with a sharp sense of humor and a coffee habit that matched mine. We stayed up late talking about everything and nothing. She never made me feel like I was too much or not enough. I joined clubs, attended campus events, and focused deeply on my studies. Psychology had always interested me, and now I was learning from professors who were genuine experts. I was growing in ways I never could have at home. During those first few months, my parents reached out occasionally. They sent awkward texts asking how classes were going and emails with links they thought I'd like. In October, Mom mailed a care package with homemade cookies and a note that said, "We miss you." The box sat unopened on my desk for 2 days before I finally looked inside. My favorite cookies, chocolate chip with walnuts, were neatly packed. She used to make them only for special occasions. There was also a brand new Stanford sweater with the tags still on it and a framed family photo from 6 years earlier. I studied the picture for a long time. We were at the beach, all 5 of us smiling. Ethan was still a little kid with missing front teeth. Amber looked genuinely happy, not forcing it. I was 14, still believing things would get better. Sophie found me sitting on the floor, the photo resting in my lap. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. They sent all this. Part of me wants to call and thank them. Part of me wants to throw it away. And part of me feels sad because when I look at this picture, I can't remember the last time we were actually happy together. She sat beside me. "Do you want to know what I think?" "Yeah." I think grief is complicated. You can grieve the family you wish you had while still protecting yourself from the family you actually have. Both can exist at the same time. She was right. I could miss the idea of supportive parents while accepting that my parents, as they were, caused harm. I could want them to change while knowing they likely wouldn't. I saved the cookies and shared them with people on my dorm floor. I donated the sweater to a campus thrift shop. I already owned 3. I placed the photo in a drawer so I didn't have to see it every day. But I didn't throw it away either. They never apologized. They never acknowledged that canceling my graduation party was wrong or that their treatment of me growing up was unfair. So I kept my distance. I replied politely but briefly, offering surface level updates and no real emotional access. Ethan and I stayed in touch through video calls and texts. He told me about soccer, school, and the video game he loved. I told him about California and college life, then sent him bunny memes. He asked when I'd come home, and I kept saying soon, even though we both knew it wasn't true. The truth was, I didn't plan to return. That house had never felt like home. The real turning point came 7 months into my freshman year. I applied for a competitive research position in the psychology department, typically reserved for upperclassmen. It was a long shot, but my academic advisor encouraged me to try. I got it. Not only that, but the professor praised my application essay and my insights into early family dynamics and their long-term psychological effects. Personal experience, it seemed, had value in academia. The position came with a small stipend, enough to cover books and some expenses, but more importantly, it carried prestige. Securing the role as a freshman was rare and looked impressive on a resume. I was working in a real psychology lab, contributing to research that would eventually be published. My name would appear on that paper. At 20 years old, I was already building credentials for graduate school and future opportunities. I posted a simple update on social media with a photo of myself in the lab, wearing a visitor badge and holding a clipboard. Excited to begin my research position in developmental psychology. Dreams really do come true. The response was overwhelming. Former classmates congratulated me. Professors left supportive comments. Even people I barely knew reached out. The most meaningful comment came from Mrs. Carter, my high school English teacher. "I always knew you were meant for big things, Claire. I'm so proud of you." I screenshot it and sent it to Aunt Linda. She replied with about 15 heart emojis. What I didn't expect was silence from my family. No likes, no comments, nothing. Even Ethan, who usually reacted to everything I posted, said nothing. Later, I learned why. Amber had created a family group chat solely to criticize my post, calling it attention-seeking and saying I was showing off. She convinced everyone to ignore it together. The pettiness would have been almost funny if it hadn't been so sad. Friends and professors left 67 comments and reactions. I told Aunt Linda, too. I called her and explained how you'd been manipulating everyone with your sob story. A chill settled in my chest. "So, what did she say?" I asked. She paused. "She hung up on me. But that's because you've clearly influenced her perspective, or maybe because she knows you're not being honest." "I am being honest," I said. "I left after 19 years of being treated like I didn't matter. That's a real difference." "Oh my God, you're so dramatic," Amber snapped. "We treated you well, better than well. You have everything." "I earned everything I have," I replied. "There's a difference, but I don't expect you to understand. Everyone's seeing who you really are now. The perfect golden child act isn't working anymore." "Is that what you think this is? An act?" I felt calm, almost detached, as though I were watching someone else speak. "Amber, I spent my life watching you praised for doing the bare minimum, while I had to be perfect just to be noticed. When I finally did something worth celebrating, it was taken away because you couldn't handle 4 hours of not being the center. So yes, I made a life without any of you, and I'm happier than I've ever been. That isn't an act. It's simply me existing without constantly diminishing myself for your benefit. I am done with this conversation. Don't call me again." I hung up and immediately called Aunt Linda. She answered on the first ring. "I was about to call you," she said. Amber completely lost it. "She called you?" "Oh, honey, she did more than call. She came to my house yelling about how I ruined her family by convincing you to leave. Your mother was with her." "Was Mom there?" My blood went cold. "They ambushed me after my morning walk. She ranted that I'd turned you against them, calling you ungrateful and selfish. She was frantic, sobbing, yelling, and saying awful things about you. I'm so sorry you had to witness that." "Don't apologize. Do you know what happened next?" "Your mother agreed with her," Aunt Linda said. "She claimed you'd always been selfish and difficult, and that you should have been disciplined more." I was stunned. "What did you say?" I told them exactly what I felt, that they'd ignored you for 19 years in favor of Amber, caused this mess by canceling your graduation party, and that your success at Stanford came from moving away from their toxicity. Then I told them to leave my property before I called the police. Did they leave? Eventually, but not before Amber had a complete meltdown, shouting that you stole her life, that everything should have been hers, and that it was unfair you could succeed while she was trapped at home. Your mother did nothing to intervene. She just agreed with everything Amber said. Your father stayed inside the car, never stepping out. I collapsed onto my bed, phone to my ear. This is insane. It's reality, Aunt Linda said gently. This is who they are. Amber did you a favor. She showed you that no matter what you achieve, they won't truly be happy for you. They'll always make it about themselves, diminish your accomplishments, and punish you for outshining her. You needed to see that clearly. She was right, but it still hurt. Dysfunctional families are cruel that way. You keep hoping they'll change, apologize, and everything will be okay. Amber's meltdown shattered that hope. In the following days, her actions became obvious. She posted on social media that I'd abandoned the family, was acting superior because of Stanford, refused to return home, and was too nice for my own family. She omitted context entirely. My canceled graduation party, years of favoritism, and the abuse that shaped my decisions. Her post spread in our hometown, drawing criticism. Former classmates piled on. But unexpectedly, others spoke up. Classmates who knew our family dynamics, professors aware of the differences in parental treatment, and family friends who had noticed Amber's favoritism. They shared stories of how I worked multiple jobs while Amber received allowances, how my parents missed my awards but celebrated her performances, and how they openly compared the two of us. Amber's narrative collapsed under the weight of truth. Aunt Linda calmly clarified the facts without directly criticizing my parents. Mrs. Carter, my old English teacher, commented, Claire was one of the brightest, hardest-working students I've taught. She earned every opportunity she's received. I'm not surprised she's thriving at Stanford. I'm amazed she tolerated her family's behavior for so long. The tide shifted. Amber's post was removed within 72 hours. Ethan told me she had argued with Mom, yelling that everyone was against her and it was all my fault. Mom called. I didn't answer. Dad emailed. I didn't read. Amber texted at 2 a.m. I hope you're pleased. You've destroyed this family. I blocked her number and went back to sleep. Finals came and went. I passed everything, earned a 3.98 GPA, and returned to the research lab for paid work. By 20, I was already preparing for graduate school and a promising career. During the summer, I stayed in California, attended a class, and Sophie and I secured an off-campus apartment. It was small and expensive, but ours. Aunt Linda visited in July. We explored San Francisco, hiked Muir Woods, and enjoyed meals together. She met my friends, visited the lab, and attended a lecture. Your parents missed out on an incredible daughter, she said one evening. That's their loss, not yours. Do you think they'll ever understand? I asked. Some people are too proud to admit mistakes, she said. Even if they do, you don't owe them forgiveness or a relationship. You owe them nothing. I nodded. She continued. I used to believe family was unconditional, meant to support you no matter what. But your parents' love was conditional. It depended on making them look good without outshining Amber. That's manipulation, not family. In August, we returned to Aunt Linda's city to collect my belongings from storage, timing it around my parents' work and Amber's summer program. Ethan, now 13, hugged me tightly. I missed you so much, he whispered. I missed you too, buddy, I replied. We had lunch together, just the three of us. He told me about soccer, friends, and books. He barely mentioned our parents. Will you ever come back? He asked. I'll visit, I said, and when you're older, you can come to California too. What about college? I don't think I'll ever live here permanently. He nodded, understanding. I held his hand across the table. This isn't your responsibility. It doesn't change how I feel about you. You're my brother, and I love you. We went through my childhood mementos. Some I kept, most I donated or discarded. As we carried the last box, my mother's SUV pulled into the lot. Ethan turned pale. They shouldn't be home yet, he said. Mom approached gently. Claire, can we talk? Just 10 minutes? Aunt Linda touched my shoulder. You don't have to. I know. I agreed. We walked away from the car, far enough that Ethan and Aunt Linda couldn't hear well. Mom twisted her wedding band nervously. How are you? She asked. I'm fine. School is fantastic. I love California. That's wonderful. I saw your article about research. You're achieving so much. I'm proud of you. I'd waited my whole life for those words, but they felt hollow. Have you come to apologize? I asked. She flinched. I'm here to say we miss you. It's not the same without you. That's not an apology. You canceled my graduation party because Amber was envious. That wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. One of many decisions over 19 years showing exactly where I fit in this family. It wasn't like that? She hesitated. So what was it like? Explain why Amber got everything she wanted while I had to earn scraps of acceptance. Explain why you canceled the only event recognizing my accomplishments because she couldn't handle 4 hours of someone else in the spotlight. I struggled my whole youth, quietly working harder, and it was never enough, not because I wasn't talented, but because I wasn't Amber. Tears filled her eyes. I want you to admit you were wrong. Accept responsibility, not just claim you made mistakes. I did the best I could. Your best wasn't good enough. I won't pretend otherwise just to make you feel better. She wiped her eyes. Is that it? Are you cutting us off forever? I'm living my life. If you want to be part of it, you know what to do. But I'm done reducing myself to make you feel like a decent parent. Back in the car, Ethan softly wept.